on the sustainable harnessing and advancement of nuclear energy for transforming India Bill 2025, ironically branded as Shanti Bill. Sir, this bill will not give Shanti, but will snatch Shanti through nuclear shock. This bill is nothing but a nuclear bomb which threatens our country's peace and security. The nuclear supply chain is thought to be removed from the sovereign functions and from the Union of India government's active oversight. Sir, there is nothing peaceful, nothing sustainable, nothing transformative about this legislation. On the contrary, it is a reckless, dangerous and deeply flawed attempt to privatize one of the most sensitive and high-risk sectors of our nation, the nuclear energy sector. Sir, one of the most critical, essential sovereign function of an elected government is given to the private sector. Mark my words, the day is not far off when judiciary and legislative function will also be privatized. Sir, let me begin with section 31C and E of this bill. These provisions allow any company or any person explicitly permitted by the central government to apply for a license to establish and operate nuclear facilities. This blanket opening of the entire nuclear fuel cycle from uranium mining to waste management to private entities with indeterminate qualification, unclear accountability and profit as their primary motive. More disturbing is that this bill allows a single composite license to cover multiple stages of the nuclear fuel cycle. That means one corporate entity could control mining, fuel fabrication, reactor operation and radioactive waste handling. Sir, this is dangerous concentration of power. Such monopolization exponentially heightens systematic risk. When one operator controls everything, a single failure, technical, financial or ethical, can trigger catastrophic consequences. A private person could threaten the nation's security and still gets things done. Sir, we have already seen what monopolization of a critical sector can do to this country. The aviation sector is a stark warning before our eyes. When Indigo cancelled flights en masse, the country witnessed near paralysis, passengers stranded, fares shooting up overnight, and no alternate capacity to absorb the shock. One company's operational crisis became a national disruption. Let us be very clear, nuclear energy is not like ports, spectrum, liner projects or airports. This is about fissile material, radioactive waste and technologies that can devastate entire regions for generations. Handing over operational control of uranium, plutonium and high-level radioactive waste to private corporation driven by quarterly profits and shareholder pressure is nothing short of irresponsible. So safety cannot be subordinate to the balance sheet. Sir, history is our sternest warning. Chernobyl, Fukushima and 3 Mile Islands were not accidents of poverty or incompetence alone. They were failures of regulation, oversight and human judgment. One mistake, one compromised safety protocol and the consequences were irreversible. Are we prepared to repeat such tragedies on Indian soil? Even within our own country, nuclear projects have faced sustained public opposition due to the seismic risk, untested technologies and a lack of transparency. Instead of addressing these legitimate concerns, this bill proposes to dilute supplier liability and shift responsibility onto the operators, many of whom now be the private players. Sir, there is a direct assault on nuclear accountability and public safety. Climate change only worsens the picture. With increasing cyclones, flood, heat waves and rising sea levels, nuclear installations are becoming less safe, not more. In such a volatile environmental context, expanding nuclear power, especially under a private control, is a gamble with national security and human life. Sir, the environmental consequences are equally alarming. Radioactive waste remains lethal for thousands of years. Even today, India does not have a fully proven fail-safe long-term waste disposal mechanism, including for the spent nuclear fuel. This bill proposes expansion without first resolving this historic injustice. This is unacceptable. And yet, sir, the most troubling aspect is this: who stands to benefit? Large private conglomerates, including one of the noted industrialists close to the power corridors, have publicly expressed interest in entering the nuclear energy sector, and suddenly we have a bill that opens the entire nuclear fuel cycle to private players, allows composite licenses across mining operation and waste, and caps liability at laughably lower levels. Sir, is this a coincidence, or this legislation being tailored to suit corporate entities rather than public safety? This bill appears tailor-made to facilitate corporate entry into a domain that was deliberately kept under the strict public control for reasons of national security and safety. Sir, are we legislating in the interest of people or in the anticipation of the corporate appetite? Nuclear power may have a limited complementary role, but this bill treats it as a silver bullet while privatizing profits and socializing risk. It undermines decades of carefully built safeguards and threatens the sovereignty of our energy policy. Sir, under this bill, the operator liability for a central nuclear installation above 3,600 megawatts is capped at mere 3,000 crores. For smaller reactors, it is even worse, as low as 100 crores, rising in tiers. And the total maximum liability per nuclear accident is fixed at rupees 300 million special drawing rights, roughly about 3,600 to 3,900 crores. Any cost beyond that, the government has to bear the cost, meaning that the Indian taxpayer has to shoulder the negligence of the private players. The Fukushima nuclear disaster of 2011 has already costed Japan more than 200 billion US dollars, that is 16 lakh crores. Some estimate put the figure closer to $500 billion when long-term decontamination, compensation, economic loss and health impacts are fully accounted for. The Chernobyl disaster of 1986 is estimated to have a cost up to 700 billion US dollars over the decades. It cost nearly 58 lakhs crores. And what message does it send? That a private nuclear operator in India can walk away after paying 3,000 crore while farmers, fishermen, workers, future generation and taxpayers will pay the remaining price for decades. Sir, 3,000 crore is less than 0.02% of Fukushima total cost. It is not even a rounding error. It is an absolute nuclear disaster. We want to gamble with the lives of the people, the safety of our environment and the future of our nation in the name of corporate-driven nuclear expansion. Sir, for whom are they bringing this draconian bill? Sir, I have clearly highlighted that this bill is a draconian bill and it is not required for the safety and security of this country. Sir, therefore, I urge this House to reject this Shanti Bill 2025 in the present form or refer it to the Select Committee as sought for the opposition parties or to a joint parliamentary committee. Sir, if peace, Shanti, is truly our objective, then let us invest in energy sources that do not carry the shadow of irreversible destruction. Let us choose a path that is genuinely sustainable, democratic and safe. Therefore, sir, I would only request the House to reject the bill in toto and refer it to the Select Committee as sought for by the opposition party, sir. Thank you very much.